Hang on a second, everybody. It's taking a minute for the YouTube. There we go. Hello, everyone on YouTube. Welcome to Lure Painting Live. Saturday night edition. I'm back. I had a little hiatus there. I got some nasty virus. I don't know what it was because I did not have COVID. I forgot my iPad. I'm not going to be able to see you guys' comments. Shoot. Okay, you guys have to hang on 1 second. I'll be right back. Okay. Start this so that the playback doesn't show me forgetting my iPad. So I have to use my iPad to see you guys' comments. And I totally forgot to grab it. I was like, I have everything. I'm good to go. No, you weren't. So anyway, I had this virus. I don't know what it was. I think I had the flu. I'm not sure. Anyways, it was terrible. And I could not function for like a week. And then I got like sick to my stomach, and then I got a sinus infection. So that whole thing lasted like, I don't know, 11 days or something. It was terrible. So I'm still alive, and I still have some pain from my sinus infection, but I'm on antibiotics now, and I'm hopefully on the mend. So we're getting some work done, finally. So thank you all for your patience in my absence. If you were wondering where I was sick, real sick. So, all right. So I'm just roughing this up. We're going to do a brown trout tonight. I got a picture from a good customer who wanted me to do a brown trout that came from a reference photo he sent me. And so I am, it turned out pretty cool. I liked it. I did it today. I did a whole bunch of Glidebaits. So you guys, I'm pretty excited. They're all hanging here, curing, clear coats curing. And so I'll post those tomorrow when they're dry enough for me to get pictures. In the meantime, we're going to do this brown trout. So this is a red Scotch-Brite pad. So what I'm doing with this is roughing it up so that the paint sticks a little bit better. Just roughs the surface up a little bit. I should have a glove on this hand. So also forgot to do that, apparently. Anyway, tonight you can get, just tonight only, you can get 25% off everything that's in stock on my website. 25% off with the code live25. And that's just through midnight tonight. So if you happen to watch tonight, it's your lucky day. You get a really good discount that I don't usually offer. So go check out what's in stock. There's lots of good stuff, and get it while you can at a good price. All right. These I might do one of these too in the same color. These are these cool little lipless baits. They're like these fat little lipless. I've heard you can almost fish these as a top water, depending on which I guess I let you attach it to your snap to at the top. But technically they are sinking. So you can fish them a couple different ways depending on how you want to fish them. So I haven't tried them yet. I know people who fish them and love them. And I might try one out tomorrow because we might get to go tomorrow since the kids are with Grandma and Grandpa. I can't see you guys' comments yet, but I'll get there. So, hi everybody on YouTube. Let me turn the volume down because my kids probably have it all the way cranked up. We'll see who's with us tonight. Why is it doing that? That is not what I clicked on. I hate this so much. we're supposed to, so this is really slow on my end for some reason. We're supposed to be, they're putting like fiber optic internet in a bunch of places around town, but we're like last on the list. So we still have satellite internet, but not like good satellite internet. It's like marginal satellite internet. So you can blame them if my stuff ever freezes. Okay. Let me try this again. I can't, this thing does not want to let me in. Okay. Can I please see the comments? Stupid Facebook. There we go. Oh, it's hot here too. Hello, Ross, Austin, Joe, Derek, Anthony, Randy. Thank you. Thank you, Rodney, Tony. Yeah, it's been the same here. It was like 85 here today and it was 90 the other day. But that's kind of normal for here because, I mean, I don't know about this time of year. It's probably a little warm for this time of year, but it goes up and down usually in the spring here. And it's pretty hot usually. We're kind of like in a sub-desert climate, so we get the heat. And that's okay because I'd rather have the heat than the cold all the time. So I have tape on these because I spray in clear coat and they'll seal themselves shut if I don't put a little bit of tape on there after I'm done. I'll end up with completely sealed shut helping hands. Where is my rubbing alcohol? Okay, I don't know. I'm just gonna dust it off for now. I think I might have emptied the last bottle I had. I have to get a new one out. All right, so I'm just gonna spray this for starters with some primer. So this is Stynol Res Primer. If you watch my shows, you know that is what I recommend for the primer on your bait. It'll just help with the paint adhesion. So rough it up and a little bit of Stynol Res. It should help a lot so that your paint doesn't come off if your clear coat gets compromised a little bit. Okay, and then since this, I don't know how far I'm going to take my painting with this, but I may or may not actually do this. So I just think they're so cute. And I just got them a few days ago. They're really fun to paint. These turn out, these little lipless, these fatties, they turn out really good. You saw some of the pictures I posted. They paint up really nice. And they've got those big eyes, which I like. All right, so I'm going to hang that one up. I'm going to clean this out. And then we're going to do a white base coat. Yeah, it's been hot here, but that's okay. I mean, I'm not like a big fan of winter. I'll take the heat over the cold any day. All right, so this is already thinned out Createx Detail Flat Opaque White. So I'm just going to make sure I get a couple coats of this on there to give it a decent base coat. So not too much paint at once. You don't want it to be running. All right, so these are really nice. These are knockoffs of the S-Waver, but they're much nicer than the ones that you used to be able to get. They're a little bit more solid, and they have a little more weight to them. And they're just smooth, and so they're really nice to paint too. They're just a much nicer, higher quality feels more like the branded ones do than the previous knockoffs. Didn't really, they were cheap. I didn't sell them really. Maybe I bought a few at the beginning, and then I stopped buying them after a while because they were just like, I don't know, they were kind of junk. So these ones are much nicer. Hello, guys. So we're just doing a base coat on this. I'm doing a brown trout pattern. It's a little different than the brown trout I've done in the past. It's just based on a photo that Ross sent me. He's here, I think, tonight. So I am done with that bait, finally. I would have been done sooner with his bait, except for I was on my deathbed. I did not have COVID, though. I tested myself, and I did not test positive, which doesn't necessarily mean I didn't have it. I'm just saying. I know that the flu is going around here, so I kind of assumed that's what it was. But I don't really know for sure because I didn't go to the doctor. I ended up having to do a virtual doctor's appointment because I got a sinus infection, though, and I'm telling you right now, the headache, whew, yeah, not good. Bad. Sinus infections are terrible. If you get I don't know if you ever get like the headaches that go with sinus infection, but like my teeth hurt and my jaw hurt. So it's like having a bad toothache, kind of almost, because the pressure like is right on your tooth roots. And I still feel it a little bit, but it's much better. Much better than it was for sure. Okay, so let's do some yellow now. So this is just some detail yellow. So, oh yeah, it's like some of the worst pain ever. The first time I went into my doctor, I've only had like 2 in my life. And I went into my doctor and I was like crying because I'd had this headache for like days and it was so bad. Like over the counter painkillers didn't do much. And he almost set me in for a CT scan. He gave me steroids and he's like, if this doesn't help like by morning, then you need to go to the hospital. Because this is weird for you. And I was like, okay. And it was like a matter of hours and it was better. But this doctor, for some reason, it was an urgent care. She gave me antibiotics, which of course take longer. So it was about a full day before that helped at all. I'm sure they have their reasons, but I was like, okay, fine. It's something. Okay, so I just did the sides in yellow. Okay, and we're going to kind of paint over that some. So I'm getting pretty low, like basically just leaving the very bottom of the belly white. And then most of the rest of it, I'm just painting yellow. Okay, pretty bright. All right, and then I'm going to go to a golden yellow and just kind of blend them together. So I'm spraying that out, and then I'll just clean this out with some water. It doesn't have to be perfect because I'm going to put golden yellow in there, and you're not really going to be able to, I mean, it's not going to matter if it's not perfectly clean. So this is golden yellow, detail golden yellow. No, it's not detail. It's just regular wicked golden yellow. All right. So share the feed if you can, guys. Don't forget to pay attention to the pinned. Hang on, I'll pin it at the bottom as well. Just tonight, 25% off in stock lures. That's just through tonight. So if you want to get a good deal, I don't often offer discounts better than that. So just for one night, my stupid dog is barking at the neighbor. If you can't hear her. he comes over with his labs to the other neighbor's house, and he has these chocolate labs, and he comes over with them in his, why won't this post? In his Gator, like 4-wheeler. There we go. That post? Okay. And yeah, there they are. She's running after him now, and she barks at him. It's funny. Ah! I'm trying to pin this, but I keep clicking on it accidentally. So I've opened my Insta bio like 400 times now. Okay, somebody pin this for me, please. Oh my God, no. Here, let me take my gloves off and try it. It won't work. It just keeps clicking on the wrong thing. Oh my word. Hang on a second, guys. I'm trying to pin this at the bottom and it's not working. There we go. Now I got pain in my elbow. Anyway, he rides around with these labs. They're so good. They're so like well behaved. Now my hands are sweaty and this won't go back on. God help me. It's always something. There we go. I'm like waiting for that to rip. Okay, so this is golden yellow. So I'm just going to go over the yellow, except for the very bottom with the golden yellow. And that'll just give it like a little bit more transition from one color to the next, kind of. Okay. Yeah, the drainage. Yeah, I probably should have taken, I think I took Mucinex D at the beginning of my sickness and it made me feel worse, but I was like in the middle of the fever and everything, and I don't know. Okay, so it's just the yellow is popping through at the bottom there. Okay, so I'm gonna clean this out now, and we're gonna go to a little bit of sepia. I'm gonna put a little brown, and then I'm gonna go over that with a little bit of then we're gonna start doing some other colors, some fun colors. So sepia, where did I put you? Right here. I get like, I have a hard time taking allergy medicines except for the nasal sprays because I get so tired from them. I don't have allergies too bad except for in the late summer. Early summer, I'm generally okay. Okay. So I'm just going over like the top sides here with a little bit of sepia. Of course, sepia is very transparent, so you kind of have to be careful how much paint you put down at once because it'll start to run if you're not careful what you're doing. So I'll go from one lure to the next and back. So I'm just kind of doing the top part of the lure. That's already kind of too much. This is really thin. Hang on. I don't know why that seems so thin. It shouldn't be. Maybe I just won't thin it. Okay, that's good. So now it's kind of faded almost to like a brownish color on the top, but not too dark. Now it really wants to spray. Okay, so it's like a light brownish color on the top, faded down to like an orangish yellow, and then to a yellow. My bottle of Sepia is kind of old and it's not very, it's got some chunks and stuff in it. It doesn't really affect like how the lure ends up. It just makes it harder to paint with it because those little tiny dried speckles like to get stuck in your airbrush a little bit. I think that the pigment starts to clump a little bit inside the bottle. If you let it sit for a while, it would probably mix better. If you let it sit with a reducer in the cup a little bit, it would probably mix better, but I'm not very patient. So there's that. All right, I'm going to do some white now. And actually, no, first I'm thinking about this. I'm going to do pink underneath first. So this picture that he sent me had a little bit of pink, almost like a trout, like a rainbow trout, I'm sorry, like right along the base of the tail, kind of. And then it had this really pretty bluish color, like from the eye about halfway back. So I tried to replicate that with some pigments that I have. So I'm just going to mix a little bit of transparent base. 4004 is it's 4004 on the bottle. The tape is kind of covering it. You can usually get that anywhere. Anywhere that sells. Createx paint should have it. I did, yes. And Everett, I'll have your stuff done tomorrow. Saline nasal spray. Yeah, I know. The doctor told me that too. She said do this sinus rinse thing. I forgot to buy it. But you're right. I should probably like have that on hand for future. I hardly ever get like really sick. I think this is the sickest I've been probably since I was in college. When I was like 19, I got the flu. I got it twice. I got it 18 when I was 18, my senior year of high school. Then I was 19. So that was like 25 years ago. I don't think I've been this sick since then. But I should keep those things around. I have these little germ making people running around my house all the time now. They like lick doorknobs and all the gross things that kids do because they don't pay any attention to what might be on said items, and then they cough in my face. You know how it goes. If you have kids, you know what I'm talking about. And usually I don't get what they have, but I don't even know where I got this because they never got this sick. I'm the only one in the family that got this sick. Maybe I was run down, it's like one of those signs where your body is telling you something, right? It's time to slow down for a little bit. So there's the pink on the tail. It's kind of hard to see because it's really reflective. It's like a pigment. I got this on AliExpress. You can look up Aurora, Aurora, Aurora pigments on AliExpress. And there's a whole bunch of different colors you can get. And they're about $3, $3.25 a piece or something like that. And that'll last you forever. And this is a good one for trout. And there's another one that I have that's purplish. That's good too. And then there's just a bunch of other ones that are also kind of fun to use once in a while. And they're cheap. So like you can just kind of pick and choose. It takes like 3 weeks to get them, but it's not like you need something like that in a hurry. So just order, they have all kinds of fun stuff on there, different glitters and different sparkles. And some of the stuff's too big to spray through an airbrush. And some of it's not. And it can be kind of hard to tell what will and what won't until you buy it. But it's usually in super small quantities and really, really cheap. So, this is the wrong color. I grabbed the wrong color. I'll go get that later when I need it. So white, we're going to do some spots. Yes, I'm sorry, Everett. I've been totally slacking on the jigs. I have them done. I just need to put them together. And I will get that done. I don't know what my problem is with the jigs. I think I didn't have the right weed guards, and then they were on back order, and I had to order those, and I was just kind of slow about everything as a result. But okay, so this is a Trout Stencil that I used when I did the what the hell kind of, was it a cutthroat that I did or something? Anyway, I used this stencil for that. Excuse me. This is the bigger, less modeled stencil from Anarchy Models out of the UK. And it's a good, I'm going to use this as a template. And then I'm going to kind of, I didn't put the pink on there. That's okay. And then I'm going to kind of make them bigger freehand. So you'll see what I'm talking about in a minute, okay? So I'm just going to line this up with this part, the front part here. I'm not going to get, well, it doesn't really, I can get the gilt plate because they go all the way up the face. And then I'm just going to, this doesn't have to be super dark or anything, the white, because I'm going to come back over them and darken them down a little bit. Okay. So there's some spots right there, and then I'm going to do the back section here. Okay, so they're kind of small and spread out, and I'm actually going to get them closer together in just a minute. But I want to kind of put some like spots closer to the bottom so it's uneven at the bottom, because you know how brown trout kind of have like a zig, like it doesn't go, the spots don't go across and stop in a straight line. This is not spraying very well. I'm sorry. For some reason, it's not coming out very good. So hang on. That's better. So I'm kind of putting some spots down lower, and then leaving, making it a little less even or whatever at the bottom. Excuse me. Okay, so I'm going to do the other side now. So that's just going to be my template, okay? The spot template that I'm going to use. So they're going to be kind of like that, but bigger. Because I'm going to go back over them. I'm going to freehand around all of those to make them look bigger and closer together. This was the easiest way I could think of to do it. For me anyway. I like the way that they're spaced with this stencil, but they do need to be bigger and closer together a little bit. So I just kind of used it as a template and then freehanded the rest of it. I can show you the finished one if you want to when I'm done, but it's not on this lure. It's on a different lure. I think I posted the picture on YouTube. Okay, so I'm gonna drink. I'm sorry. Okay. So share the feed if you can, guys. Remember, 25% off all the in-stock items with the code LIFE25. Only tonight through midnight. So now I'm going to go and I'm going to make every spot a little bit bigger by just kind of freehanding it, okay? So this is going to be a little bit time consuming, so bear with me. It's going to require me, I'll show you the progress in a moment. It's going to require me wiping my needle too. Because it probably will get gooped up. Also, I think with the stencils, sometimes it looks a little bit too uniform, you know, like the lines are too, they're too crisp, if that makes sense. Ugh. And so sometimes it doesn't look very natural. So if you can freehand around them to make it look more like it blends a little bit, that's not a bad idea. So all I'm doing right now is just cleaning the tip of my needle off so that the paint comes out like normal instead of having it struggle to come out. In the land of airbrushing, they call that tip dry. And it's one of the things you battle with when you're doing detail work is your tip, the paint drying on the tip of your needle. And it just keeps happening over and over. So keep something handy to wipe it off with. Okay, so you're getting an idea here of what I'm doing. Okay? I promise this looks good when I'm done. Or at least in my opinion, I thought it looked good. Now is the time to go grab a beer or a snack. While you're waiting for me to finish all this nonsense. So on some of these trout, you'll like notice that the spots almost touch. That's kind of what I'm going for. It's like a little bit of dead space in between, but not a whole lot. Oh my god, something just flew in my ear. What the hell? Okay, that looks pretty good, I think. So, kind of looks like a hot mess right now. So we're gonna do the other side now. My garage door is open, so it's not very buggy here, but there's some bugs. The best thing about living in Colorado, if you haven't been here or spent much time here, is that we don't have very many bugs here. I grew up in the Midwest, and I have to say, hands down, that's the best thing about living in Colorado, is that there's very few bugs. Comparatively, I guess. I mean, it's not that there's none, there's just not nearly as many. But we do have tarantulas. They only come by, though, during migration season here. And then they go back up to the mountains. So you only see them like, it should be anytime now, actually, we should start seeing them. It's usually in May that we see tarantulas. I've seen one every year that we've lived here. Okay. Almost done. Bear with me. Then we got to do the dots. So it's kind of time consuming, but honestly, like some of these glide baits with the realistic scale patterns take just as long because you have to wrap them in mesh and do multiple colors, and that takes a lot of time too. So it's not too bad, really. This is a little bit bigger than the last one I did, so it's taking a little bit longer. All right, almost done. Okay, that looks pretty good. So I've got spots on this side and spots on this side. So now we got to do some other color. So let's get this out of here. And we're going to switch to our pink again. And then I'm going to do a little bit of green on the high sides. And then we'll do our dots. I'll probably forget something in the process because I always do. So back to our pink. And so I'm going to mix that up with a little bit of clear base. All right, stir, stir, stir. Freaking bug, yeah. Damn it. Okay, I think my needle's not even. Seems like my needle's not pushed all the way in. Spitting paint out without pulling the trigger, which is kind of frustrating. Okay, that should be okay. Sorry about that. Okay, there we go. It came out a little too fast, so we're just blotting it. So again, I'm just going back over that spot with the pink again. It's not cooperating very well right now, sorry. I think because let me grab my hair dryer. Where's my hair dryer? I think I buried my hair dryer behind my computer. Hang on. I did. Hang on. I need like 400 more square feet in here. Excuse me. Oh my God. Okay. There we go. Jeez. I think I put too much pigment in this airbrush. And it's like protesting. Okay, so this is still drying, so it looks kind of funny, but I'm gonna dry here. So there's that pink line across the bottom again, just on the back side. And that should be good. So I'm gonna clean this out, and then we're gonna do some black dots. Green first, and then black dots. So you want to make sure you get all of that pigment out as much as I can, at least. Some of it doesn't want to come out, but it'll be okay. Excuse me. Moss green. So we're going to do a little bit of moss green on the high sides. That just means the top, again, right along the very top. Just a tiny bit like that. So not too much. I'm going to hit up the top. And then maybe the face a little bit. So just going to come across the face a little bit with that green color. Just a smidge. Okay, now I'm going to clean that out. And we're going to do the dot. So I'm going to grab, I just have like a little piece of paper here, and I'm just going to put a little bit of paint on it. I'm going to need this hair dryer again. I'm going to set it right here. So I have dotting tools and a piece of, it's just a slippery piece of paper. So I'm just going to take my black paint. This is regular. Whoops, that came out fast. Wicked Detail Black. It's not thinned. And then I'm going to take my dotting tool right here. And so it has two different sizes. There's a big end and a small end. And I'm going to dip it in the paint. I'm going to actually take this off of here and I'm going to set it down. And then I'm just going to dot all of these with the black paint. Now you can kind of draw until your dot is like roughly the same shape as the white dot, but you know, like just a little bit smaller than the white part. So the white is just kind of sticking out. They don't have to be all perfect circle dots. In fact, it looks better if they're not uniform and they're actually like a little bit not circle, all of them, so that it looks more natural. Some of them can be circle, but not all of them, I don't think. Make them look a little uneven so they don't look fake. I kind of got crazy with the pink on this. It didn't spray very well, so it doesn't look as great as I would like it to. It worked so well today. I mean, it still looks good. It's just not perfect. You know what I mean? I like it to be perfect. Okay, so as soon as these are done, I will go ahead and dry it with a hair dryer so I can do the other side. And then we're going to put a little bit of that pretty blue hue on the face. And if you've seen brown trout before, you'll know what I'm talking about. They have that iridescent blue sometimes on their cheeks and right behind the cheek, the gill plate area. So I'll go right over top of everything with that. So it's kind of almost on the outside of the scales. Okay. Is everybody still with me? Or are we bored now? Make sure you check out the website if you haven't in a while. There's lots of good jigs on there. I've been hand tying my jigs, so not all of them are hand tied. You'll have to read the description. The older ones are not, but all the newer ones I did are hand tied, so they're wire tied jigs. You can get 25% off tonight with the code LIVE25, and that's just good through midnight. So here's let me give this a quick dry, and then I'll show you what it looks like up close, okay? I don't want it to smear on me. I'll have to flip this over, so I need to make sure it's at least somewhat dry. Or fairly dry, actually. Okay. I'll show this to you. I'm not 100% sure if I can flip this over yet, but so here's what it looks like so far. Okay. So let me check this to see if it's safe to flip. I think it is. And I'll do the other side real quick. We woke up to a lot of smoke this morning. I don't know if you're from the area, you'll know what I'm talking about, but we had a lot of fires. Lots and lots of fires. mostly like smaller ones around here. But I know New Mexico's had a rough go. Gotta be careful with everything right now. I'm surprised they're allowing campfires here at the state park, but they are. Okay, so this shouldn't take too long, and then we'll move on to some color again. I gave up on the lipless because this is taking too long, so I'll do that later. We'll do some of them later, hopefully. I don't know how much use there would be for a brown trout lipless. It just would be cute, because those are cute. I shouldn't call them cute, because that would make... Would you be less likely to buy something that's cute? It's my girlness showing through. All right, so almost done. Almost done. I'm trying to go fast because I know this is boring. So I try to get some in the joint too, so that it doesn't look like this dead space when the bait turns side to side. They'll figure it out. So it kind of blends together, I guess. All right, all but the tail is done here real quick. And then some of these I'll paint over somewhat on the top here, but okay, so that looks pretty good. I'm just kind of making sure I got everything, all the little ones. On the top here too. Okay, so I'm going to dry this real quick so we can finish it off. Once I get this dry enough to put it, I'll put it back up in the helping hand. That should be good, I think. So just as long as that outer layer is dry, it should be good. To put this back, I just want to make sure I don't touch any of these because I'm not sure they're all the way dry. But I'm going to put this back in here. I'll give you a peek of what it looks like so far again. Okay, so there's side one and side two. So now I'm going to grab some Interference Blue. I grabbed the green on accident, so I just got to step away for 1 second to grab the right color here. So this is Interference Blue pigment, and I use this a lot. It is just by Pearl X, and you can buy this anywhere that art supplies are sold. You can get it on Amazon or any art supply website. Airbrush, like some airbrush paint sellers will have it, but not all. Excuse me. Whew. So I'm just mixing a little bit. I'm going to put a tiny bit of reducer in here because that last time I put pigment in my airbrush, it didn't spray very good. And it kind of came out bad. So that might help just a little bit. So this is Interference Blue. I recommend getting the Interference Green, Blue, and Violet. The ones you'll use the most will be the violet and the blue probably, but the green is good too. They mimic the fish scale iridescence, so they do come in handy. So I'm just going to go basically from the eye, just a little bit back. So you can see it, you have to kind of use like a decent amount of power, a decent amount of air pressure to get it to come out. Sometimes, maybe not. It's actually coming out pretty good. So let me dry this to make sure that I don't overdo it and end up with this stuff spraying all over the place. And I'll do a little bit more. Everybody's so quiet. Or I'm not getting your comments. One or two. Okay. So this will only show up like in when you turn it in the light. So depending on how you're looking at it, you might not even be able to see it. Okay, let me see if I can get you guys to see it. I'll just turn it a bunch of different ways. See if you can see the blue. Okay, and then if you're on, can you see that? Okay, so that's what I was going for. So I'll transition back to Sepia, and I'm going to do like a brown back on this and a little bit of shading on the eyeballs. The eyeballs. Okay, so brown. Back to this brown that I love so much. I don't. It doesn't spray very good. I don't like it. I should just go and get a new bottle, but you know, it's not something I think of. Stir, stir, stir. Stir to get the chunks out. Maybe. And we're going to do, I'm just going to go along the spine first. So straight down. I'm going to give it a quick hit with the dryer so I don't overdo it. Okay, and then another one. So I'm just kind of darkening like the very, very top here. I don't want to cover all the green up because I want there to be just a little bit. And then I'm going to kind of go down over the nose just a smidge here and shade the eye just a little bit. Not a lot, just darken it down just a tiny bit. It makes the 3D eye look better if it has a little bit of a shadow around it. And then this one has like a ridge. So the inside of the eye socket is kind of, it goes straight down. It's not like tapered. It just kind of like goes straight down. So I don't want that to be like white. You know what I'm saying? These are the tiny details that most people probably would never even think of. But I just figured it out. Okay. So far, so good. So let's do a fin. We got to do a fin. All right. So I like the, did I put that away? I like the Whitmore Farms has a really good trout stencil with a fin. I promise this won't take 4 hours to find. I just used it, so it should be right here, but you know that goes. Excuse me. Well, it's not going to be easy. Of course it's not going to be easy. I just had the stupid thing like 2 seconds ago. If I have to, I'll just cut a new one because I have no patience for this. Oh, it's back here. That's why. I think I threw it and I missed. So this fin is my favorite. The one in the corner there. You can tell I use a lot. This one right here. So I'm going to put a fin on it. So all we got to do is trace along the very top edge of the fin use the overspray to go along the edge. And then the bottom two, but darker on the top and darker where it meets the body here at the end is the key to a little bit of a, oh, I gotta get rid of this before I ruin my bait. This pile of black paint is gonna end up all over. Okay, it's gone. Okay, so I try to line this up right underneath the gill plate, right where it ends, like right along the body, and then I'll trace. So all I'm doing is using the overspray to go along this edge dark, and then this end dark, and then a little lighter along this edge, and then kind of leaving the middle ever so slightly empty. Okay, and that makes sense. I've done this a bazillion times on my show, so if you haven't seen it, I'm explaining it to you again. Okay, so you have a little bit of a shadow, excuse me, shadow fin. And maybe the other side. I got a tickle in my throat. Okay. Tip dry. It's the most frustrating thing ever. Let me reline this up, and then I'll put the eyeball on so you guys can see what it looks like right there. Okay, so there's your shadow fin on the other side. So let's see what that looks like. All right, and then we'll put, I'm going to take these off because I can't handle these tiny eyeballs without gloves on. So just a dab of super glue. There's these one eyes that I love for trout, but I don't have them in 6mm right now. These are, I think you can find them on AliExpress, but they're kind of hard to find. They're like a reddish brown color, and they're downlookers. I have them at 8mm, but I don't have them any left in 6. So I can't do. Ross, that's the color that's on yours. Because the lure that you picked is an 8mm eye, but this is like the same color, almost a little more orangey. And these are, I think they're called Wind, W-I-N-D, and they're I don't know, you can get them either Backwater Outfitting has them, or you can get them on AliExpress if you want to wait. They're just like a 40 eye, so they're a little more natural than just the circle ones. And this is kind of like a orangish yellow, orangish gold color one. So they work too. They actually look pretty close to a regular trout eye. Although I do like the downlooker, but anyhow, so there it is. All done. Brown trout. A little bit different than the ones I've done in the past, but all right. Thank you guys so much for watching. Hope you have a wonderful weekend, and I will hopefully see you all next week. Take care, and until next time. Bye-bye.